Hi, it's Von Herzog. I'd like to welcome you back to the Social Club, my analog digital hybrid studio. Now, it's Black Friday 2024, and there's plenty of sales. I could recommend a lot of different things to you guys. But today, I want to recommend a workhorse, a piece of gear that always does the job for me. They call these things the NS10s of headphones, and I think they're right. Do you know which ones I'm talking about? Talking about these Sony MDR-7506 studio monitor headphones. I don't think that a lot of headphones are suited for mixing. It's a very specific task, and you need a very neutral headphone in order to do it. Otherwise, your low end might be overly hyped and might be telling you there's more there than there actually is, or maybe the highs are hyped and it sounds real sparkly in your headphones, and then you take it to something else and it sounds dull. Well, that's because your headphones aren't doing what they need to do if you're using them for mixing. They need to give you an honest representation of what's recorded. And if your headphones are lying to you, you're going to fight against them constantly. Your mixes aren't going to come out right. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to have to go do the car test and end up sobbing in your car because it doesn't sound anything like it sounded in your headphones. Forget all that. Sony MDR-7506s. They're great. Don't just take my word for it. Take Andrew Scheps' word for it.
For whatever reason, I was able to mix on these headphones. I use Sony MDR-7506s. They're cheap. They sell them on Amazon. They last, with heavy use, a couple of years before they start to get a little bit tired. Get a new pair. They sound exactly the same. I've been buying them now for over 20 years. I've never noticed them sounding different. I am just really used to them. They're a bit the same as my speakers. The speakers are actually incredibly flat, but that makes them sound very bright because there's no mid-range push. These headphones are very bright, but they're not flat. But that's okay. My ears have acclimatized to them, or my brain is acclimatized to the way things sound. So I can absolutely work using these headphones. Any other headphones, I can just listen. I can't work. I don't feel like I know what to do next.
Andrew Scheps is a legend, and that guy makes a lot of valid points in that video. I'll put the link in the description. But him and Fab Dupont are having a conversation about why he chooses to mix in headphones and why the 7506s are his go-to. Normally, they're only $99, which is a steal for something that does a job as well as it does it. But right now, they're only $84.99 at Sony.com, at Sweetwater.com. And you want to go grab these things. You do. If you can get them for $15 less, get them for $15 less, because these things are worth every penny you're going to pay for them. And why do I love them? Because they give me what I need. If I want to know that I'm hearing back the recording accurately, I know these things are going to tell me the truth. And they're very true across the mid-range. A lot of the times when you're trying to find appropriate mix levels for things, you can get it wrong sometimes, you know? Again, if your speakers in your room or your headphones aren't giving you an accurate representation of what's there, if they're hyping or subduing things in a way that isn't true or accurate, you're going to compensate incorrectly. Stop doing that. Different people hear different ways. It's something that I've preached through all of my videos. And one way isn't right, another way isn't wrong. But understand that what works for you might not work for your neighbor. And I'm not saying this is going to work for everyone. But if you're like me and you have found Yamaha NS10s to be truth tellers when it comes to mixes, these operate in a very similar manner. They're not nearly as fatiguing as NS10s. And one of the other advantages that you can get when you go to headphones is you're taking the room out of the equation. Let's face it. A lot of people that are watching this right now and making music probably don't have very fancy studios or even well-treated rooms to work in. And if your room is not well-treated, you're going to fight your room constantly. I remember this earlier in my career where I had a mix engineer that I looked up to tell me, I can hear your room in your mixes. I can hear where you're overcompensating for things based on the cancellation and feedback you're getting from your room. So if that's the issue where you're fighting your room, take the room out of the equation. Strap on your ear goggles and get ready to go. And you can start mixing songs with these headphones. And you might be surprised by your results. Again, these aren't super expensive headphones. They're not even the most expensive headphones I own. Here I have my AKG K702s, and these are the old school ones that still say made in Austria on them before they started making them in China. And these things are very highly detailed, and they sound good, but they don't sound true to me when I'm listening back to music. If I'm doing dialogue editing, those things work great. But when I want to hear the low end accurately reproduced, they're not cutting it. They're just not doing it. They don't have enough low end there. They're nice and open back and very airy, but they lack the bass response to be able to accurately mix a song. I can fight against those things for forever and not quite get it right because the information just isn't there for me to make the appropriate decisions. The 7506s go down to 10 hertz. That's 10 lower than we can hear. So, I mean, subsonic frequencies still represented on those things. But seriously, if you're looking for a pair of headphones and you've been on the fence, don't spend a ton of money. You don't have to spend $300 on a pair of headphones for mixing. Get the Sony MDR-7506s for $85 right now. And you'll have everything you need to start the new year mixing in style. How durable are they? I don't know. They're a lot of plastic parts. You know, they will last you with everyday use. They will last you 3, 4, 5 years. After that, you're going to end up replacing things, ear caps, or, you know, maybe the plastic. I had a pair where the plastic broke on them in the past. But they're so cheap, you can pick up another pair. If I was stranded on a desert island and I could only take one pair of headphones with me, this is what it would be, the Sony MDR-7506s. Because I can trust what I'm hearing and they cover the whole range faithfully. And that's what matters to me. As a mixing and mastering engineer, that's what matters to me, is being able to hear everything faithfully. It's important. So don't walk, run over to Sweetwater.com or Sony.com, Amazon.com. Get yourself the Sony MDR-7506s for $84.99. And don't look back. Make a playlist while you're waiting for the headphones to show up, while they're being shipped to you. All your favorite songs that you know inside and out, and exactly how they should sound. And when the headphones get here, strap them on, listen to them, and learn the profile of the headphones. Like I said, they're NS10s for your ears, so they're going to give you a very accurate mid-range response, but better than NS10s. You don't have to worry about room response, and the low end is sturdy. Very honest low end. They're not as low distortion as the AKGs, but again, that's not exactly what I'm looking for here. I'm trying to get my mix levels right, and these things do the job. And they're not high distortion. They're a low distortion headphone, or else they wouldn't be a studio monitor, but they are. So stop what you're doing, run out, grab a pair of these, and drop me a comment if you'd like me to do a more in-depth video on it with frequency responses and distortion graphs and whatnot. I just wanted to get this video done and out to you so you could take advantage of the deal before it's gone. So I hope you grab a pair. If you did, leave me a comment. If you already use them, leave me a comment. Tell me what your favorite things about them are. I love them. I'm happy to be using them. I use these with the different artists that I work with regularly. Rob from VHXRR, my partner in that, he has a pair. Zarina in Spain. I can't be in the same room with her when we're working on music. She's in Spain, I'm in Philly. We use the same headphones. So we have the same exact enclosed response that we can trust. And we know that we're hearing the same thing, even though we're literally a continent apart. And Annie in New Jersey, even though she can come over to the studio, it's easier sometimes to just email her a song. We strap on the headphones and we can listen back with the same playback system. It's hard sometimes if you're working with artists and they're using different equipment to listen back on and they're compensating for their equipment's inefficiencies. It can throw the whole process. So by at least having the same benchmark, we all know what we're hearing. And it goes a long way to getting a good response in the end. So if you're working with people remotely, try and get on the same page by at least having the same headphones. Because again, your room acoustics aren't going to be the same, even if you have the same studio monitors. You might be hearing bass boom at 80 hertz and they might have a null at 80 hertz. So how are you supposed to give constructive feedback to each other if you're not hearing the same thing? That's where headphones can help. Even as someone who builds speakers, I understand the importance of a good pair of headphones, especially in the production process. And especially when you're trying to get on the same page with someone else about the same song, but you're in two different places and two different environments. Take the environment out of the equation, go to the headphones. And go to these headphones because they're really good. So I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. I hope this video finds you well. I am grateful for all of you, all of my viewers and followers. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for watching these videos. And why not give me a like and subscribe? I'd be grateful. So until next time, this has been Von Herzog from the Social Club.